Yo, 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 what up? It's Cyber again. So I'm testing this demo for my OpenGL project, my engine Degine, and this is I mean, I've been working on this for like almost 2 years now, but it's getting close to. I think like I could start making the game. Like I could stop like sitting here messing with the graphics. Like it looks good enough. So I want to like get some sort of like kind of simple small demo for July, end of July, and actually get like a real-time demo out. I mean, for July, I might just post a video screenshots or something, but I think shortly afterwards, I want to get actually like something out that people can play on the PC. So I just got this thing added where I can press the space bar like right here, and that pauses the game in the animation. And now like I'm in like free look mode or whatever, so I can move around. And I added some new controls. So let's say I'm here, right? So I can oh yeah, so there's like bugs like this with the screen SSR. So so if I right click over here, this is like brings up the menu. So I'll go here and just turn SSR off because yeah, it's kind of glitched out on this part. I'll turn it back on in a second. But and then so what I added, so you could click on like let's say a character, an object or something, and these controls. So I'm using the middle mouse like click so I could go around, but if I do it on the character, I don't think I'm recording the mouse, but right now I'm like right on the back, and then if I click I could actually orbit around and zoom in. So that I just kind of tweaked the like speed and stuff, like it's a little smoother. But then today what I got is like, so if you click with the middle mouse, but if you click like let's say on a shoe, right, I just middle mouse on the shoe, now this goes to the shoe, right? So here let me like turn away so you can see it happen. So if I middle mouse on the shoe, now it's focused on the shoe, and if I zoom in, like it's not exact, but if I go here, you see it's not just orbiting around like the center point or some origin or whatever. It's actually like in the general area of where I'm clicking. So if I do it not on a selected object, I can kind of just move around like this or whatever. I'm just using the mouse, I'm not touching the keyboard. And if I go here and middle mouse, now you see it's going here, and then I can zoom in just the scroll wheel. But if I hold control and then move the mouse itself, not the wheel, the whole mouse, while I'm holding down like both control and the mouse wheel, then I could like go and like really find like make these really kind of small movements to get the camera. And then if I like let's say go out here, you could just double click, and then that's like a focusing it or whatever. So I can show you some other stuff. So let me get out of here this mode for a second. And so this I'm using a gamepad right now. So this is like I'm actually controlling with a controller. It's not like just an animation or whatever. And I'm using the Google Stadia controller, which works. I have SDL on this, so I think pretty much Xbox, PlayStation, like any of the popular controllers should work. And it even works like on the web export, like the controllers work. So here I could show you some of the physics stuff. So let me just so here if I press space, it goes back to the editor, so you can just like switch it back and forth between like the game and the editor. And then I can make these, I have these I don't know, power cyberpunk graffiti like power boxes or whatever they are. So I just got this in today. I mean, I had the physics engine kind of. I mean, it's not finished. I'm using Joel Physics, but there's a lot I have to do with the API. But I just got some basic rigid body like boxes or whatever. But this is actually like working pretty good. Like the performance is pretty nice. Like I mean, this isn't a ton of boxes, but it's pretty smooth. And if I can go here, I could right click and get the settings. And so right now I'm at over 300 FPS or about 3000, I think it's nanoseconds or something. So let me put VSync on. It'll probably be smoother for the video. And then you can see here. Oh yeah, that's kind of you could probably see in the video there's a big trailing on the on those lights. It has to do something with the motion blur, because when I locked it, I think because I'm recording, it's like 60 FPS or something. So that actually doesn't happen when you're playing. I think it's something to do with like the recording. But so if I go here, I could like double click on this and like zooms in, and then I'm just using the middle mouse click and the scroll wheel, and you could really smoothly kind of look around and then click like over here and then zoom in. Like if I go up here, let's say I'll click on this one, right, and just go kind of on the corner right there, and then let's get it kind of centered right here, and then if I get close, I could hold control and like really kind of get in there like this, like you know, I'm imagining for either photo mode or in the game, or like, you know, if you're editing, like, you know, doing some sort of I don't know, you have a table and you're like applying props and, you know, putting silverware, and you want to you know, put everything rotated and get everything in there or whatever. I could imagine that you can go in here and like really kind of go in like slowly and look around. I mean, that was what I was working today, which is why I'm like spending so much time on it. But you could also just like click around here, and then let's say I want to mess with the material here. I could right click, and then there's like, you know, some options, material, and these, you know, these menus, you know, you can minimize that, and then I clicked too quick. Here on the albedo, so this is the albedo texture, and then you can click here to like change it to other textures. Like for now, I just put the sneaker texture. You can see they all change like that, or like whatever the hell this is. Like you could just change the textures. So this is the box. I didn't have much like many extra textures in here, but I could show you. You could search. So if I let's say search here for eye, or maybe it's eyes. Oh yeah, I think I said it. You have to do 4 letters, or it's like a fuzzy search. So this is eyeball. So if you put eyes, I might be able to tweak that. But if you put, let's say, ball, then it got the socket and the eye, and then I'll go to all. There's a little more textures here, so you could see these, and just like, let's say, click on this. Oh no, I switched the you know, I haven't worked on this in a few months, like this UI. So let me go back here. I put the arm for the chick, so go here, and then I could click arm, and then this is probably, I don't know, box or something. What is it? No, electric. What is the name of this? Maybe I'll just see it. Elect box. Yeah, so I do have like kind of like a search algorithm, but it's not, I mean, it's not like Google quality, but like, let's say I type head, right? Oh, actually, did this break? I just typed head. I'm sure that's there. Let's say body. You know, I was sure this was working, but I might have, you know, I updated a bunch of libraries. Like, after I started working on the project again, I like updated all the libraries. So actually, I probably need to do more testing. But here I can show you something that I know works that I tested. So if I go here, I have, these are the PBR properties from like the GLTF. So let's say I turn metal down, you can see like all the textures that share that material, like it's going, this is just like a multiplier to what's in the texture. And then you can see these are the textures here. I think I showed you enough of that. So let me show some other features I have. So this is all the oh, and then I turned the SSR off. So let's go here, turn the SSR, and then I'll hide the editor. So you can see I got the SSR has some glitches still. Like this is sort of like, I would say, like most of the graphics features are there. I mean, it has like sound, it has physics, I have Lua scripting. You could like you know, there's like a sort of a material editor, but there's a lot of stuff that needs work. Like you see here with the reflections, needs some sort of like a better fallback, because you can kind of see the trails and the shadows like are like pretty good. But you know, I wouldn't say it's done, but it's getting close. Like I'm gonna start working on the game, because I think the graphics are like, you know, like good enough here. And I think the navigation is good. I'm not sure if I showed this in the video, but this is like, I have the one directional light, but this is like the kind of the UI. So I could even click, let's say I would click on this, and this was actually took a lot more work than you probably think. So this is actually this line. This is not using like OpenGL lines or anything. It's sort of like a custom, like it's a quad. But the line isn't the geometry, it's actually in a fragment shader. That way I can get anti-aliasing. So it might be probably impossible to see in the YouTube video, but line is like really kind of smooth. And then I also have like blending. Like I have this object, like if I click, and that's being blended, and then there's another Sobel filter for the outline, and also the grid, this axis grid on the bottom, and all this like there's multiple layers here that are using like blending and transparency and discard, and it actually like kind of works together. So that was pretty hard, and even the hair too. So this hair is transparent, and I spent so this is a good example of the what I was saying about the mouse control. So now I click the character, and she's selected. There's like an outline. But if I middle mouse in like the center of the hair, then you see how the line, the camera line lines up. And if I hold Control and move the whole mouse, I could really get. I mean, it's not exactly the center because I'm doing some kind of hack math. But it's like close enough that you could like work with it. And if you have a problem, you could just like go like this and move the camera a little bit. And I could show you how it looks. Like this is order independent transparency. So it ends up being good for like hair or like things where there's multiple overlapping on the same like same mesh with multiple polygons. So I could show you the other. So this is like the kind of the material editor window. I tried to have all these windows like self-contained. So if you're just messing with materials, you just have this. You don't have like a billion like things taking up the whole screen. So if I go, what was I showing here? Oh yeah, the hair texture. So these are all the materials on this character. And then if I go over here to hair, then this is like the hair. So this is like the albedo for the hair, and you could like change the base color. I don't want to change it because it took me a while to get that, but if you clicked here, you could change the base color. And then here's the blend mode. So this is the like most recently what I was working on. So if I put blend on, I'll just put it on opaque so you can see what the texture actually looks like. So this is actually the texture. They're like hair cards, but they're like pretty. So actually, let me go in. I can zoom in. Like, oh, that's too much. Zoom in just a little bit. Like, yeah. Like, let me see. Probably there's good. Like that. Yeah. So I have the opaque, and then I'll put mask. So this is like like a cutout, like a 1-bit transparency, which I mean doesn't look horrible. I could probably maybe work on the aliasing a little bit. It has an interesting look, but it doesn't really match like the kind of texture. And then if I go back here, I could put hash, which is similar to mask, except it's kind of randomized. Sort of just like like updating like different ones, Monte Carlo kind of style. So it'll converge on order independent transparency. If I go in just a little closer, like it actually does look better than just a straight mask. So if I go to mask here, it has the outline, so it's hard to see. But if you look in the middle, like it just looks kind of coarse and there's like weird overlaps. But if I'll just click off here. So that's like. Doesn't look horrible, but it has that kind of a paper kind of feel, and there's some weird overlapping. But if I go here to hash, you could see how it looks kind of, there's more volume, even though it looks a little kind of artificial. And then if I switch to the blend mode, which I still probably have some work on the shadows, because it's it does have shadowing with the transparency, but I can just show you how it looks. It's not completely working, but the alpha cutoff controls like how much lighter shadow like it's through. So if I move this down, like really far down, oh that's too far, like even put that's the lowest, like 0.1, you can see now the let me go in there. The shadow actually goes kind of into the hair, which looks a little cool in screenshots. But if I'll play the game again, right? And then if you go here, there's some flickering because, obviously the shadow map has a limited resolution, and you could kind of fix it with the cascades, like if it's like something static, like on the floor, like because the floor is like, the floor is not moving, like it's there's one object moving, the other object static. but in this case, it's kind of like the hair volume is going through like the shadow. Well, it's not really a volume, but it's like the pixels, like the it doesn't look great. So I got to figure that out, either like up the shadow quality for like the close by, or find something else, or just leave it, because if I put it on, like, I think it was on 67 before, this actually looks pretty good. Like, it's not exactly accurate to how it's, how it looks in the other modes, but honestly, I think it has an interesting kind of more kind of realistic, it's stylized, but like more like real hair. And then there was some other stuff I was doing. Let me see. Oh yeah, the chromatic aberration. I added that yesterday, so it's a little extreme. I just wanted to kind of show that see that it was clearly working here, but you could see that's off and then that's on, so it's like a pretty extreme effect. But I'll probably set some sort of customization, or not have it on all the time. It'll be like when you're like your health is damaged, or it's some like cutscene where you're like tripping out or something. I don't know. And then so that I mean, all this other stuff I've showed in previous videos, and then you could see like here, if I turn the VSync off, oh, this went down a little bit. I think maybe because I'm recording, or because I added a bunch of boxes, but it's still, was it 3.5 milliseconds, so a little under like 300 FPS. So I could add some more boxes or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I still have work to do. Like, I wouldn't say it's like completely done. And even though, like, the performance looks good, I'll put VSync back on. The performance looks good, but it's also like, I have a pretty good computer. I think this is the AMD Radeon, like the RX 7900 XTX with like 24 gigabytes RAM. So it's like a pretty good card. So like the performance is fine, but this is also like, I want to make sure like people can play with this and it works on, like, I mean, not like a computer from 15 years ago, but like, something mid-range modest from a couple years ago. Like, it should still work. Hopefully, like, when it's done, I'm still finishing it. But so here, this is the other thing I was saying about the rotation. So now I clicked right on that like corner, and so it's a little off. It's closer to the center, but if I go up, like, let's say go to kind of, it works better like kind of at an off angle. If you're too close to it, it's not as accurate. So if I click here, you can see it's not rotating around like the center or the floor. And if I hold Control, I could zoom in, and it's like still kind of in the general area. Like if I go here, let's say on this bottom, and then zoom in, I mean, it's still like around the center. I want to make sure it's not like bugged out. But you could kind of get different angles as you're looking, and that was the main thing. I mean, I want to show the new features, but I mean, I take it some people probably haven't seen the old videos, and I mean, the last like developer log I did honestly was from like September of 2024, because I had actually, I mean, I've been working on this for like almost 2 years, like solo, almost full time, and I did another project. Oh, I actually got a initial version out for this like stereo 3D image viewer, doing like machine learning, like depth map conversion, and I might add video later. I mean, it has image support, so I was working on that. So that was like a little bit of a detour. I thought it was going to be a 3-month project, but it's always like, costs twice as much, takes twice as long or whatever. But I did get that out, so that's like on the website. The thing of the app, it's called RenDepth. I don't know if anyone like has 3D monitors or is into that. I mean, it works with the XR glasses too. But so I was working on that for a little bit, just to kind of get something out, like finish something, because working on like a huge project, like a 3D engine for almost 2 years, and like having it not be ready to actually make a game. Like, I mean, I could have probably done some small like graphics demos, like without a lot of interactivity or whatever, but I kind of wanted to work on a game, or like something substantial, because I've been working on it for a while. But hopefully I can get something out in July. That's next month, which is what I'm trying to say. Something small. It's gonna be like I'm going for like art like this. It's like kind of urban, kind of graffiti, but like neo cyberpunk or something. I don't know. That's what I was going for. So hopefully I can get some small kind of playable something out in the next 2 months or something like that. But I mean, I feel pretty good about where it's at. Like it was kind of coming together, and there's some like even here. So let's say I select her feet, and then let's get a good angle, and then click here, and then zoom in. You can probably get a look at the reflection. Actually, you know, I added that SSR at the last minute, so let me turn that off, because that's, oh, not the SSR, the chromatic, because that kind of interferes. Well, there's glitches, but it makes the glitches look worse. So from here, you can kind of get a look of the reflection, because I got this thing actually. I forgot to talk about this. It'll be easier if I'm kind of in a like facing the light here, because this is kind of this texture. Is it this way? I guess, yeah, like this, what to say. And then because if you could see it, there's still some glitches. I mean, obviously SSR is not perfect, but here, so it's gonna be hard to see. I have to adjust this. This is something I'm working on. I figured I'd just show like work in progress. But with the blend, so here, let me put it on hash. I think works. So if you look kind of in the middle of the screen on the reflection of the hair, so if I put mask, I'm not sure if that's working for mask or set it, but on hash you could see that the hair is actually reflected, and then this was a little more difficult. The blend mode, I have to adjust this a little bit, but if I put this on, let's say, I don't know, 2.5 or something, so now the hair is actually reflected in the screen space. So this took a little bit of work to kind of have, like, I have like multiple depth, like I have a second depth buffer for the transparency effects. So I mean, this is a little harder to see just because of the distance, but if I turn it off and on, you'll see, if I put on mask, let's say, oh no, did I fix it? Yeah, okay, I can't fix it, so I have to mess with the settings. But yeah, so that was interesting, getting you know, alpha blending reflected. So that was kind of fun. And I mean, it's not something you'd probably notice super obviously when you're playing, but you know, you would notice that if certain things are like not reflecting, it looks kind of bad. But there's, you know, like I said, still some streaking and a little bit of I mean, I tried to get, it'd be easier if I take this into editor mode, but like if you see here, actually there's still some streaking. Let's see what else. So this is the post-processing. I think I showed this in another video, but I have these like tone mapping. I think I got these from like the Unreal website. So you could change the to do a sepia tone or whatever, get a different look. So these are just kind of the default ones I got from the web. I have to make my own, or just like a greenish kind of thing. It's kind of like Gears of War or something. So you could easily just change these, or I can click here. I think can I? Oh, I don't have a preview for that. But this right here under color grading, it shows there. You could change these stuff, and oh yeah, I can even change the HDRI maps too. So this has a list of maps. I think this even field one is good. So if you saw right there, those are not preloaded. So oh, actually the SSR works a little better here. I just, you know, there's some glitches in the occlusion areas, but if you have a clean kind of shot, it actually does end up looking kind of decent quality. And I'm rendering, this is like a quarter resolution, so this is 1440p, so I guess the reflection is 720p. And then you see here, I did get a little bit, you know, the light, you know, like on the legs, or like I said, like kind of on the arms and the hair or whatever. But I'm, you know, just trying to get these features like implemented, and then, you know, I could tweak the bugs. This stuff is just kind of a little rough right now. I mean, I might as well just turn it off, because it was the last thing I was trying to fix, and I could turn the depth of field. So the depth of field wasn't even on. It was just the chromatic aberration. And then here, you know, you just sit here and mess around. I think what was the other one? Hayloft was kind of fun. I think Hayloft was fun. So let me just, yeah. So you know, so I'm kind of building this. How long is this? I'm almost at 25 minutes. Yeah, so I don't want to go over half an hour because nobody's gonna watch like a half an hour YouTube video. They're probably not even gonna watch this far. So if you watch this far, you deserve like a, I don't know, like a happy face stick or something. But yeah. So I'm trying to make it so, the doing the art and things are easy. Like just being able to go here, and this is like way too many special effects, honestly. But I kind of wanted to like, I don't know, whatever game I'm making. I'm working on a few things, but to make it like really kind of, just I don't know, some trippy like crazy stuff. But and then if I could turn off, so let me turn off the chromatic aberration, so you can see like that makes a pretty huge, and you can move these around and stuff like, so that like if I go here, I can turn the SSR back on, and so here, so like. Oh, this now I'm playing the game again. Yeah, so you could just switch between like the running script, like this is a Lewis script, and then and you could just pause it and then move around. So what I wanted to do was just kind of get a good angle. Some of these. So yeah, so you could I have everything enabled, so if I like click here, double click, I showed this earlier, but now you could see like it still works, like all the effects, like this is everything, all the graphics of this, even with the screen space GI, like I could turn this off. It's not like super extreme, but if I turn it off, you could see that this gets like really flat on these areas, like this is with the screen space GI, and it like doesn't look like a lot is changing. It's like 10% in shadow, but it's really subtle, and it actually makes this look like way more kind of grounded and just coherent. So if I turn this off, you see like, I mean, it doesn't seem that much different, but it's a huge difference. And this is just with the GTAO, the ground truth AO, which this does help. I mean, it's based on the same code. So this does help a lot, but it still looks, there's no color. It's just, the SSAO GTO is black and white. So like it gives it the volume, but it also just looks flat in like a video game. And then this, you could see it's, I don't know, it's really subtle difference, but it's kind of huge. It's like little things that kind of matter. So yeah, so that's kind of working. I published that on my blog like last year, but I made a couple of tweaks to the code since then, and once I like completely finish it, I'll probably make another blog post. But I know there's definitely like one or two bugs I did notice, but it's a reference implementation, so like maybe later this year I'll do a second blog post like with the fixes. But yeah, so I worked on some of the physics. I mean, the engine, like I said, Jolt was in there, but I'm still tweaking things like being able to load models. You set up everything because it's like an ECS system. It's using Flex, the any component system. So like when you create an object, you're loading like a GTF model, and then that creates entities, and there's associated things like the entities, like these things. I'm not sure if this might crash the game. Let me just open this. Let's see what. Oh no, that was just the. I haven't finished that. That's like an old testing thing. And then transform. Here, this is like the transform gizmo. And I could go to position. Oh, I can't move this because it's controlled by the physics engine. And I think she's controlled by the animation system. So yeah, actually I can't. There's not any free objects here, so I'm not sure if I could demo that. And I showed the material thing already. So you can see the menus. Those are the main menus that work, and some of this other stuff. I mean, I have this debug menu, which are like, these are just like tweaks for development purposes. Like this won't probably be like when I release. Debugging menu, and then the post processing, and I have a few of these menus that aren't really fit. I was working on this. This is not working yet, but I'll just show it. The graph. So this will be like the kind of the tree. So I do have the names in here. But there's some, like, it doesn't, like, you can't click on them. I did the design, but it's not actually functional, and this is like kind of, it hasn't like auto resize. So there's a lot of work left, but I have like sort of like a skeleton of a working engine with some features mocked up and some features like 10% finished. But a lot of stuff is like in there. Oh, I can also saw the scaling. I haven't showed that, so I put on like FSR quality. and this is using FSR1. I might upgrade to something later, but like the new stuff, like FSR2 and I think 3 are for Vulkan and not OpenGL, because OpenGL is kind of dead. But so I might just leave it like this because it still looks okay. And then even if I put on performance, like this is low, so performance is going to be 720p. And that I mean, it actually doesn't look great. I mean, let me just play it, see how it looks. So this is 720p right now. It's like quarter res, and there's definitely kind of low res, but I mean, it could be worse for 720p. And but the UI still, like these grid lines and the sun up there, that's still native resolution, and also all these menus. So if I put it on, let's say quality, that's 910p or ultra. Okay, so this is pretty good. So this ultra would be pretty much 1080p, and I also have SMAA, like the temporal version, which is it's still kind of like a screen space AI, but it's better than FXAA, and it does like kind of support motion blurs and stuff like that. So now this is 1080p upscaled to 1440p. And actually, I mean, because I have all these image effects and blur, so you don't actually notice so much like the loss of resolution. And even like if I go here on the graffiti, so I mean, even the I mean FSR1, it's not great quality. I mean, I'm going for kind of low spec, mid range compatibility. Like you can I do have, if I go here, like I could just put it back on the native this screen space GI and some other kind of advanced stuff. But if I just put, like, let's say GTO, which is relatively cheap, and then if I turn VSync off, so this I could just turn off the effects. You can actually see how it looks without all this like jazz or whatever. So I could turn let's turn the ambient occlusion off. This is subsurface scattering. Parallax occlusion map is on the floor, but you can't really see it. Chromatic, SSR. So the context shadows actually make a huge difference. So I could show this up close. So this right here looks a little rough on this edge on the middle, but if I turn context shadows off, you see how there's literally like there's at least like 20, 30 pixels where the shadow's missing, and on the top of the edge of the box, it's like complete missing shadow. If I turn context shadow on, it's just a little edge. But it's sharp. Like it looks almost like what is it? Stencil shadows. It's not like a blurry look. And that actually adds a lot. So I'll take let me zoom out a little bit and then take that off. You can see I'll just turn it on. So it's like little subtle things. It's only adding like a really 10, 20 pixels of shadow. But it's like little things like that to like kind of pull it all together. And then I can just take the shadow off completely. I still have to leave the pre-pass because that's doing the kind of this depth normal render for the. It's sort of like a light G buffer, sort of like deferred, but this is forward plus. And then the bloom, obviously, fog. I mean, the fog is just really basic, like N64 fog, just to give it some volume, motion blur, film grain, scattering, and then I'll turn off all the scaling and anti-aliasing. And let's also, so I mean there's a lot of buttons to press, but you see how the interface is not cluttered. And then let's put the identity tone mapping, and also I can put this on, like, let's say Reinhardt luminance is pretty neutral. And I think that's really, let's see, wait, did I go to camera? Yeah. So this is like just the base. I guess it's still PBR, but this is like with no image effects, no kind of tone mapping, just nothing. And you see, like it looks. I could even like all those effects are making a big difference. Like a lot of it is almost all post processing. Like this is like, I mean, it's high resolution, but it's not like much more than like an Xbox 360 game or whatever. So a lot of what I'm doing, like on the engine Degine as a project, is in screen space and post processing, and like a lot of stuff's not finished. And you could see, I don't know if I even showed the performance. So if I go to settings, so This might be, yeah. So it's around. So this is around one, I guess 1 millisecond, uh, uh, on my computer. This is at basically 1440p. But I could show you on the quality mode. This is with this is gonna be linear. So this is linear scaling, and you could see how just, except for the UI, which is still always native res, but like that, there's a lot of shimmering and just low quality. And I could turn on, let's say FXAA, and honestly, that still looks pretty. It's a little better, but it still looks pretty bad. So I'll turn on the SMAA, and this it's a slightly older technique. It's from like 10 years ago, but I still kind of like it. Like here, it can't really fix those like really shimmering edges, but overall, it's done a good job. And then if I also, let's say, turn on the motion blur, adds a little bit of jitter, and that helps a little bit. And then if I put FSR on top of it, it works better if I put VSync, because there's a little bit of issues when it's going too fast. So that already, that made a huge difference kind of in the image quality. And that's just with the so this is 910p, like the scaling or whatever. And I'm trying to use older techniques, but they're still solid. They're still solid techniques. Like there's a lot of stuff that kind of got lost a little bit, or it was working good, but then everyone moves on to something new or whatever. But they're still good. So yeah, and I think I still have to fix that thing with the motion blur on the highlights. But I could just put everything back real quick. I think that was everything. So now it's, well, I have VSync on, but I'm at the full 164 in my machine, so you can see like how much of a difference that is with the. Oh, I think that I messed up the tone mapping. Oh, the tone mapping is a lot too. So I could put let's say Habel Filmic. That's probably a better one, a more like reasonable, like not realistic or whatever. So that's kind of where I'm at. So this video, of course, is way longer than I thought. I was gonna say I was gonna try to keep it to half an hour, but like here, this is with the Habel, which is like, sort of. I mean, I think it was, to use on PlayStation, like on Uncharted. I think that's where it came from. But it has a certain look. And then if I go, the one I like is actually I think the Asus Filmic, or is it ASIC Fitted? Yeah, I think it's Asus Fit. And let me try one of the other. What was it Victoria Sunset? This one's kind of boring. This one, there's a night one. So you can see these HDRIs are making a huge kind of difference. So I think Construction Yard, that's a good one. So I could play here. So this is like more kind of overcast, like natural lighting, like not as like super jacked up. And I'm honestly I'm kind of happy with the lighting. I still, like I said, have to fix that SSR glitch is pretty bad, but I got work to do. I'm not completely done. But you could see here, I was saying with the lines, like that it still works with the transparency and the outline and the transparency behind it. So that honestly took, like, that was where I was on for like 2 weeks. Not just specific that line, but with the hair and this grid and getting the depth. It was actually kind of complicated. But yeah, so where are we at? Almost 39 minutes. So I feel like if I'm so close, I might as well just make it 40 minutes, because it's a nicer number. But yeah, so I've probably just talked in circles here about all this stuff. But yeah, so the point is, this is this is like 2 years worth of work. So it's I spent the last 6 months on that stereo 3D stuff. So maybe it's only really like a year and a half or something. But anyhow, I got to get something out there, because I just been working on this too long, and I want to kind of keep it moving. And I think also having like some sort of deadline and an actual public release, maybe not of the engine, the source code, but like a playable demo, like an executable. I think that'll kind of help keep things moving. and it's something I could probably reasonably kind of hack together in a month or two. I think actually releasing like the engine, like the editor, and or the source code, like actually so people could use it, probably. I mean, I don't want to put a date. It might be like in 2026, honestly, because I don't want to release something janky that's gonna like crash people's computers. So if it does come, like when it does come out, it's gonna be like end of the year or early next year, like realistically. But I could, get a demo out, or maybe get a small game or something to actually test the features in production. Like like I'm making the game myself, so I know the features work. Like they're gonna be what's needed to actually make a game, and the physics, sound, and the API, like make testing different computers, mobile, web, so that that's a lot of work. So I don't want to rush that. It's multi-platform and stuff, so I want to make sure it works. But I think it'll be good. I think people be able to try a demo, and they'll see that like I'm not bullshitting. Like it actually like does look this good, and it's pretty scalable to mobile, to web. I mean, granted, you're not. Do I have? I have like the screen space GI. Like you're not gonna run screen space GI on mobile, let's say, but you could, depending on your devices, you could turn effects on and off, or use lower quality versions and stuff like that. So I'm still working on kind of that whole support matrix. This is on like a high-end desktop, like a Linux like desktop PC. But I'll get that. I'll get that all sorted out soon. So yeah, I mean, this is probably a good place to end it, because I could just talk in circles, and I mean, I think the graphics look good, but this is like not much of a demo yet. But I'm working on getting. I bought some assets. I have enough assets for like a small like urban level, and a bunch of other stuff, like random stuff. So the art's like not a problem. I mean, I spend a good deal of money, but I mean, it's honestly less money than you think for some of these assets. Like I think this I bought this morning, this power unit, and I want to say it was like $6. I think it was either $6 or $9. And it actually, no, it's $6, right? And it's like, yeah, it's just one little prop, so yeah, it kind of adds up. But I mean, this is like honestly pretty good quality for $6. Like if you're not making like a whole New York City, you just need like a few props, like to test like the PBR with like like actual like video game, like like console quality graphics, like not just programmer art. Like I mean, $6 is not like a huge investment. So stuff like this. And I think this character, she was more expensive, but I don't think it was that crazy. I want to say it was like like $50 or less than 100, like between 50 and 100, and it's a whole like character. So I mean, it's not like it's not cheap, but it's also if you're spending months or years working on a project, I guess you might as well like put some money on the table or whatever. So it makes sense to me. Like I want to invest. I want the game to look good. Like so I did a lot of searching to find these like not just any like. Because some of these, like, they have these, like, cyberpunk power stations, but it's not, like, real graffiti. It's, like, someone trying to make real graffiti or something. I mean, I'm not even a graffiti artist, but, I grew up in New York, so I know what graffiti looks like. I know, like, street art looks like. And like, this is, like, pretty, like, authentic. I mean, this might just be, like, a photo, like, photogrammetry or whatever, but, it looks authentic. Like, it looks like something real, and they probably just, like, modified it a little bit, like, pieced together multiple images, like, real images, photos and stuff. So stuff like that, I kind of want to make sure, like, every piece, every prop, everything, like, I choose, like, it is going to, like, kind of look, and it's good, and it's going to be, like, cohesive. I could put the original underpass. I like this underpass, and it's like the right size for the what is it, for the image-based lighting, there's only like one probe in the center or whatever, so it works good. But yeah, so I should probably call it, because I don't want to make like a hour-long documentary here. I've been talking about this, all this stuff, but it's getting there. It's getting close. So like I said, I want to get something out, next 6 months, give or take. Get something out good, because I think it's looking good. So anyway, peace, guys. Thanks for watching. This is gonna be like 45 minutes. So I don't know if anyone's actually like gonna get to the end or not. I bet at least one person does. So you know what? If you're the person that got to the end of this like 45-minute video, I want you to please comment and let me know. Not even because I'm trying to like get comments, but just because I want to know if anyone's like actually watching the whole video. But anyhow, well, thank you. Like, peace and have fun.